We had started our discussion with the HTML and XHTML, and we have understood the differences of HTML and XHTML, and we know that XHTML XHTML is very standardized, and when we are using XHTML, we need to follow some rules and regulations very strictly. And we have discussed about the meaning of tags and how we start the tags and how we enclose the and the tags, and what is the meaning of container and what is the meaning of content. Okay, and what is the meaning of element, that all we have discussed. So in simple terms, this entire thing, this entire example is nothing but together we can call it as an element, and whereas this p indicates it is a paragraph tag, it is a p tag, and this we can call it as the container, and the information that we provide within this particular container we can call it as the content. And all this tag including the container, and I mean include the container and content together, we can call it as the element. So this we have discussed, and after that we also discussed about the uh, how we can give the uh, comments. Like in C program we can use double slash or star slash for the comments. So similarly, when we want to use the comments in HTML, we will be using this. Okay, this is the before starting the comment, this we need to use, and to close the comment, this we have to use. Again, the comments can be single line or multiple line, depends on our requirements, and the browser ignores these comments. Basically, to compile the C programs and so on, we require some external tools like compilers. But in case of this, the browser itself acts like a compiler, or whenever we want to run this or we want to compile this, we'll be using the browser as the tool to run our programs or to run our HTML files or the documents. And also we need to understand that the uh, tags will also include these something called as the attributes. So like for example, we want to give a particular color for a paragraph, or we want to make some different presentations for the particular paragraph, or the elements that we are going to add on the web page or on the web document, we can use something called as the attributes. What special things you are going to add apart from that regular thing? So those are nothing but the attribute names. So that attribute names like tag names are written in lowercase letters, and for that we should also give the some values. Those values will appear in the double quotes. When we actually understand these attributes, that time you'll know about this. But now we'll quickly move on to the standard structure of our XHTML document. Like for a C program, we have a standard structure. So similar to this, when we write some programs based on the XHTML, it will have a format or a standard structure. So what it will include? So let us consider that this is a standard structure. So the first line we have something called as XML, doc type, and so on. And this here we have some head tag, body tag, and so on. So this is our standard structure for a XHTML document or a file. So what this document will begin with, and what are the meanings of it, that we are going to study in today's class. So every XHTML document that we are going to start or we are going to write will have the uh, XML version or XML declaration we call. So it indicates that it is based on the XML. In the previous class, we have discussed that this HTML is been given by the SGML, that is Standard Generalized Markup Language. So this XML document that we are going to write or we have written is based on the XML type. So for that, we include this XML. It indicates that we are going to write these programs based on the XML, that is extensible markup language. Based on that, we are going to write the program. So for that, we need to inform to the browser, and also it includes two attributes. These are called as the attributes. So attributes, and it will be having a equal to symbol and then the value. So as we discussed, value should always have the should be written in the double quotes. So this is the tag, that is XML, and then we have the attribute called as the version, and we are going to use the version as 1.0, and we have something called as the encoding scheme. Like we have different encoding schemes, but for our examples, we are going to use the encoding scheme, that is UTF-8. I want you to search for what is the meaning of encoding and what is the meaning of UTF, so that you can do some exercises. So there are some different codes, like we have ASCII codes, IPSID codes, and so on. Similar to that, this World Wide Web Consortium has given some standard coding schemes or coding techniques. So for that, we are specifying that encoding is also a second attribute. So this XML declaration element that simply identifies the document as being one based on the XML. So the program that we are going to write or the document, it is based on the XML, and this version is an attribute that indicates the what version we are going to use. So the version is 1.0 and encoding that we are using in we are going to use is UTF-8. So followed by this, we have another line following the XML declaration element, which should be the first line, and also we should remember that this should be the first line and it should start at the first character position in the first line of the program. So that is what we need to understand. And followed by this, we have some big 2 lines statement or a command, we can say, that is what we call as the doc type. So we have something doc type, HTML public, and so on. Like we discussed, like the browser acts like a compiler. So the browser should understand which type of compiler we are going to use, or based on what particular syntaxes it can run, or it can check for the errors or the mistakes. So for that, we use something called as the document type. So this will include the following things. So this indicates that the doc type indicates that is followed by the immediately by an HTML doc type command, which specifies the particular HTML document type definition with which the document compiles, among other things. So there can be other standards as well, but for our programs, we are going to use HTML as the standard. So this doc type indicates that, and this we have something called as DTD and so on. So many other things have been written here, but understanding all these things are very difficult. So what we will understand is what are the important things that are present in this. So again, it is a standard that is being given by the World Wide Web Consortium. W3C stands for the World Wide Web Consortium, and this DTD stands for the document type definition. So by using this, it will understand that the browser will get to know how we can compile this program, or what is the standard that is being used. So that will be indicated with this doc type. So the doc type command specifies the particular HTML document type definition with which the document can be compiled, or it can compiles, among the other things. So based on this particular standard, the programs that we're going to write, or the script that we're going to write, that will be executed by the browser. So that will be indicated with this particular statement. So the following command states that the document in which it is included compiles with the HTML 1.0 strict standard. And also we have something called as XHTML 1.0 strict standard. So this indicates that we are going to use the version of XHTML as 1.0, and we are going to use the strict standard that we can include here. And then here we have something called as, like, it looks like a URL, HTTP and so on, but it is not a URL. It is just a syntax, we can say, or a starting line which has to be included, so that the browser will understand that the programmer that he has written some programs, they are based on this particular standards given by the World Wide Web Consortium. So we are going to use this XHTML 1.0 standards, but it is given by whom? It is given by the World Wide Web Consortium. So that will be included in this XHTML1 and DTD and so on. So all these details will include the way the programs can be compiled. For that, we require this particular thing. Are you all following it, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So the first line will always indicate the XML, and then followed by the doc type, which will refer to the or which will inform the browser based on which particular thing the program has to be compiled. And then followed by this, we have the opening HTML tag. So that we will understand now. So followed by these 2 lines, we have the next tag, that is the HTML element includes an attribute XMLS that specifies the XHTML namespace. So followed by this, we have something called as this HTML, XMLNS namespace, we call it. Again, this also looks like a URL, but this indicates that what type of syntaxes or what types of elements that are present in this particular thing. Like for example, suppose say that in C program you want to use some mathematical functions like square root, power functions, sine, cos, and so on. So to use that, you include a header file. What header file you include? What is the type of that header file? Name of that header file to execute mathematical functions in C program?
Math dot
Hash math.h.
Exactly.
dot
So when you include that, what you are informing to the compiler that I'm going to use the functions that are defined in this particular thing. So similarly, this HTML, XML, and S, it is a namespace. Namespaces are nothing but it will inform what all elements that we can use. So here element means what all tags we can use. So that can be identified by giving this, and it indicates the standard which all tags are included in this particular standard. So that will be included, or that will be indicated with this HTML statement or with this HTML tag, or we can call it as the HTML element. So XMLNS, so we are going to use this standard XMLNS, which is being defined in this W3 World Wide Web Consortium, or from this particular organization, whatever the standard is being given, that we are going to use. So these are the basic 3 lines which are going to be constant for all the programs. So you're going to write these and you're going to practice this. This is a compulsory thing. This is a must and should that we need to remember. So the first line will always indicate the XML version and the encoding scheme. And then we have the doc type, that is the document type definition, which will include or which will indicate the based on which particular thing we are going to write the program, or it is based on what particular document, that is the SGML standard, and we are going to use the stick standard and all other details. And then followed by that, we are going to use this the HTML that will indicate this acts like a namespace, which will indicate what all elements are given in this particular standard. For that we use this, and this HTML program or this XML documents have been grouped into 2 categories. So inside this HTML, we have, for this HTML, we have a pairing closing tag. So it will start with this HTML, and when the program ends, when the document ends, we have a closing tag. So the closing tag will always have the / then followed by the name of the tag. So here the name of the tag is HTML. So similar to that, we have the / then the HTML. So it indicates that the tag has been closed now. So within this HTML open tag and closing tag, we have 2 sections. One is called as the head section, another one is called as the body section. So what this head section will indicate? Head section will indicate, or it will include the title tag, and it will indicate just the information about the document, or it will not give any details of the contents that we have included. It will just inform what is the document and what are the information. It will just give the information, basic information about the document. For that we use the head tag. So here we have included a tag called as the title tag. So what this title will do? So this title tag, we basically use it to give the name of the program or to the name of the file. For that we use this title tag. So when you run the program, so whatever you specify in the tag, in the title tag, that will appear on the browser's window at the title bar. So here I am running this particular program. Okay, so what is the name? What is the title I have given? Our first document. So this is the information that I have mentioned in the title tag. So that will appear on the browser, in the browser's title bar. So here it will appear. And also sometimes when we study about JavaScript and cascading style sheet, that time we'll understand another use of the head tag. So we can also include some other files like the JavaScript files, or if you want to use some cascading style sheet, all those things can be included in this head tag. So we have two basic categories. The one is the head tag, another one is the body tag. So head tag will indicate the information about the document, but it will not include any contents. But when you talk about the contents, whenever you want to add some images, text boxes, buttons, and so on, so all these are called as the different elements. So when you want to add these elements, we have to use a tag called as the body tag. So entire our program lies between this body tag. Most of the things we can say, like we can include the paragraphs, headings, forms, images, buttons, and so on. All these will appear between these two tags, that is the opening of the body tag and closing of the body tag. And between these body opening tag and the closing tag, we can have this different categories of elements like a paragraph, headings, and so on. One by one we are going to discuss this now. Are we clear with the basic structure of the XML document?
Yes, sir.
Everyone? So this is going to remain constant for all the programs. And then followed by that, you will have the head tag, title, and then body tag. And at the end, we'll be having the closing /HTML closing tag. So it indicates that the program ends here. And this HTML tag will also include the root tag. Root means the starting point from where the program execution will begin. So this is the root tag. HTML is the root tag. So let us start with our first simple tag that we call as the paragraph tag. So whenever you want to write some content on the browser, or when you display some information on the browser with the paragraph thing, we'll be using the tag called as the paragraph tag. So all these tags can be asked for 2 marks. So what is the paragraph tag? So whenever we want to display some information on the browser in a paragraph way, we can use the tag called as the paragraph tag. So it will start with P, and also you should remember that all the tags, including HTML and any other thing, all other things will be always written in the lowercase letters. So here the paragraph type tag will start with this information, and when I run this, what will happen? So I've written this information in the paragraph tag. So we'll just run this particular file. So I have saved this with simple.xhtml as a file. So I need to go to that respective directory here, and from this, so this is the program. So open this and say open with any of the browsers. You can run with Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, and so on. So I will just click on Google Chrome. So I'm running the program. So the moment I run the program, or when I execute this, if the program is correct, it will work without any errors, or it will not inform, it will not give any error messages. But if there are any some errors or warning messages, that we can get it on the browser itself. So here, if I do not close this body tag properly, so by mistakenly, if I forgot this /, what will happen? So I will save this. Here I will run this. You just refreshing will become like a running thing. So the moment I refresh and I run this, I'm getting a error message. So error on line 15 at column 8, opening and ending tag mismatch. So it is indicating that there is no match with the opening tag and the closing tag. So this should be the closing tag. Or if you use some unrelated tags, like if you use like tags like ABC, XYZ, ABCD, and so on, these tags are not having any proper meaning. So if you use unwanted tags, those tags will be ignored by the browser. So browser will ignore such tags. Unwanted tags will be ignored by the browser. So now you can see that it is appearing like this. But how I have written this information? Welcome to web programming. I am interested in learning web development. Here, if you observe, I have written this in first line and this I have written in the second line. But how it is appearing in the browser? On the browser, entire thing is appearing only in one line. So that means if you give some blank spaces, or we can say if you give some white spaces, those things will be ignored by the browser. So here also I have given some white spaces. You can see that I have given some white space here. But these white spaces are not appearing when I run this. So here when I run this program, so I cannot see any white spaces. And how long this paragraph this tag will take this information, it depends on the size of the browser window. So if I reduce the size, see here I have reduced the size. Now you can see that this development is appearing on the next line. So when we write anything on the paragraph tag, it will take the entire screen, and if it is exceeding that entire screen, then it will go to the next line. It depends on the size. But if I make it in any bigger size of the window, again it will fit into that particular line. So whatever I type after this development will always start with, I mean, it will be continued like this, and then it will take a next line. And also I had given some white spaces. These white spaces are also ignored by the web browser. So if they ask you about what is a paragraph tag, what you will write? Paragraph tag will begin with this and it will end with this. So whenever we want to write some content onto the web page by using some paragraphs, we can use these paragraphs, and there can be n number of paragraph as well. There is no mandatory rule that you should have only one paragraph, two paragraph. You can use n number of paragraphs, but provided it should start with p tag and it should end with /p. That is the syntax for the paragraph tag. So I will have taken simple example. I will put into this. So if I take this paragraph tag, let me have proper indentation. Since the small information I have written, I'm ending it at that particular line itself. So when I run this, just see the changes. So this is what we can have it related to the paragraph. There can be multiple lines or multiple sentences in the paragraph as well. Are we clear with this paragraph tag?
Yes, sir.
Others? Are we following it?
Yes, sir.
Now we'll take up with the next particular set of thing. So what if I want to have this white spaces, or what if I want to have a line break? Suppose say that I've written this particular information. I'm interested in learning web development, and after this particular word, I mean, I'm interested, I want to go to the next line. For that we have another tag that we call it as the BR tag. So that with that tag we can have line breaks according to our wish. By default, the paragraph tag or this browser will take the line break once this completes the entire size of that particular line in the window of the browser. But if I want to, according to my own wish, if I want to have a line break, for that we can use the tag called as the BR tag. So I have written a paragraph here and I have used a BR tag. So this I will put into my file. So and all you can see that these all are not appearing on the browser. Why these are not appearing? Because these all are the comments. So here this is a single line comment, okay, and this is the multiple line comment from here to here. So I'll just take only this part and I will put into the program. I will remove this particular thing. We do not want any paragraphs, so here I will put this. So now you can see that when I run this, here we can have our line breaks. I will just run this program. So here you can see that my name is so and so, and then there is a new line, and then there is a new line, and then we have the information. Are we all getting it? But remember that for the BR tag, there is no opening and closing tag separate. We have only one BR tag. It should be written like this: open the angular bracket BR slash, then close the BR tag. In this way, we need to use the BR tag, and this BR tag can be used anywhere. It is not mandatory that you have to use this BR tag within the P tag only. No, not like that. You can use this BR tag anywhere within this body. This you remember, you cannot use this all these tags outside the body part. We can use it only within the body part or within the body tag, you can say. So if I want to have a line break here, like for example, I can use this BR / and close. Now if I run this program, see here you can have the line break. So I'm interested in, again after this, again there is a line break. So for that we use this tag called as the break tag. And next we have another tag called as the pre tag. As we know that the browser by default ignores these white spaces. By default, the browser ignores these white spaces. What if I want to include a white space? According in my application, you can say I want to have a white space. So for that, we can use another tag called as the pre tag. All of you write down these tag names. Okay. So we have a tag called as the pre tag. After the line break, we can have a tag called as the preserving white spaces. For that, we can use the tag called as the pre tag. So the moment you use this pre tag, all the white spaces that you have given, so that can be easily understood. I mean, the browser will understand that, yes, this means a white space. So I have to leave a white space and so on. So that will be indicated with the tag called as the pre tag. So I will put this into my program, this particular section. I will remove all this. Or I will put it just below this particular thing. So I have used paragraph tag, and then we have used the pre tag, and then these all sentences. So you can observe when I run this, you can observe there is a problem with the when there is a space that I have given. So if I give that space, the same space will appear on the or the white space will appear on the browser. So I'll just run this. Now you can see that there is a white space that is appearing on the browser. So by default, the browser will ignore the white spaces. But if I want to give manually according to my wish, I have to use the tag called as the pre tag. So pre tag will help us to preserve the white space. For that is the meaning of pre tag, preserve the white space. Are we all getting it, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I hope everyone has installed this Notepad++. Those who have laptops or computers at home, you can try installing this Notepad++. Even if you don't have this, no worries. You can just go to online compilers and you can practice these programs. Even if you are not able to install the Notepad++, you can just use the Notepad as editor. That is also sufficient. Now after this, we'll go ahead with the next set of tag. So we have finished with this pre tag paragraph. We have finished line breaks. preserving white spaces. So all these tags can be asked for 2 marks, or they can be asked for 4 marks. What is the use of the paragraph tag? Or so for all these you have to write the syntaxes, why we use or how we can give the line breaks. So for the line breaks we have the tag called as the BR, and its syntax is like this, and write this simple example. So if you want to have white spaces, we can use the tag called as the pre tag. And next we have the remaining set of tags. Those are called as the headings. Like whenever you want to represent any information, or if you want to put some data on the web page, we can give some headings. So headings are based on, 6 categories of headings, or we can say 6 levels of headings we have in the HTML. So these headings are used to give some proper headings for the information or for the document that we want to put it on the web page, on the web document. So there are 6 levels of headings. H1, H2, H3 are grouped into one category. H4 is grouped into one category. So H4 uses the normal font size, and H5 and H6 use the bigger font size. So basically these headings, different levels of headings gives the, or they define the size of the information or size of the heading that we want to put it. So for that we can use this heading tag. So it starts with the number H followed by the number and then the information, and then again it closes with the same tag name. And lower the number, bigger the font size. So here are H1. So the size of this particular information that you're going to put between this opening tag and closing tag, that will appear in the bigger size. And always these headings will take the bold form. Whatever the information I'm going to display, that will appear on in the bold format. So we'll just put it into my program, use this H1 tag. So these all tags should be written inside the body tag, not outside the body tag. So I will remove this particular thing. And here I will put a heading. So if you use this heading tag, you can observe what will appear. Basically, we use heading only to list some information or to give some proper urgent information. In such situation, we use this headings like headlines. So lower the number, bigger the size. So I will use this and I will run this particular thing. So here you can see that there are different set of headings, and all the headings appear in the bold format. The font size will be always in the, and font face will be always in the bold. And this H4 heading 4 uses the normal font size of that particular browser, and H5 and H6 are always give the lower font format for the information or for the text, we can say. Have you all understood this heading tag?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Others?
sir. Yes, sir.
So you can use it for others as well. So if I want to make it something like this, I can put this in H1 and I can close it here. I will save this. Like this also I can use it. So it can be used within the paragraph tab as well. So these are the some of the important basic tags we have. And after all the tags gets over, the body tag will get over. And once the body tag completes, then we have the closing respective HTML tag. So you're going to make a note of this. I will just send the basic syntax. This I'm going to send it in a document, and you're going to take your own examples. You're going to practice all these tags: head tag, title, body tag, okay, paragraph tag, pre tag, line breaks, that is BR tag, and then the headings tags. Can you all do this? Everyone? See, this is a programming subject. So unless and until you practice, it is not going to work out. Remember. No, don't worry. I will give all this in the notes as well, but you can practice these things.